All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Great Pretender, episode 23, the finale.
The finale.
Okay, we have had a lot of things happen.
Yeah, we had the great bamboozling. On top of the bamboozling.
Right.
On top of
the bamboo that was used. No, it wasn't bamboo. It was a different kind of wood. But
yeah,
you know,
but it was about as flimsy. Like I'd really love to see how they bend reality, you know, to make this it's believable.
They just full on just raise their hand and they've got the Infinity Gauntlet with the reality gem. You know,
we'll have to see. Like money can do a lot of things, prep time can do a lot of things, and the whole Laurent has been prepping for this job for a decade more. Sure, maybe,
even though it was implied that this was actually Edamura that did this with a few days of prep.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we'll see. But
we'll see.
Hey, this is the finale. Let's say a nice little send-off to these characters.
That's
with,
right.
How they go off into the horizon. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Oh, now it's just castaways. They try and figure out how to survive or get help.
Yeah. I mean, this is the perfect vengeance, right?
Sure.
They're just stuck here. Damn.
Yeah. At least you still have the chair.
I mean, yeah, get fucked. But just scream his name.
Yeah, you scream the name at this guy. And then cut from that.
That was wonderful. Yep. Wait.
Imagining what could have been. Are they doing a reversal that she didn't actually die?
I mean, this could be in the past, you know.
Oh, sure. Magic.
Oh. She's kept a nice little collection of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back and explain actually how it all... Nope, okay.
I almost feel like at this point they shouldn't, because there's no explanation they can give, so just
roll with it.
Yeah.
So, I hope you can learn the lesson that you gave to me. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so he had...
Right, because he basically leveraged them all together in order to get back. Whoa.
To make her be more accepting if there's a difference in taste.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So he drugged her. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. So once they got into the helicopter, they just fly them to a different place.
Okay. Wow, he says that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So they just use the same... I mean, okay.
Okay.
But then why were they so compliant after they woke up?
Yeah, all of them fell asleep. And that's also assuming that none of them would realize as they're falling asleep that, I shouldn't be tired right now, you know?
Right, so this is how they fly them actually to the island. Cool.
Sure.
Because they wouldn't have an actual runway or anything. Right, so this was a place that they... Yeah, and we don't need to worry about, how long they sleep, because to them it might just be like oh yeah, you took a quick nap, and they could lie about the time or
Wait,
something. Oh, well.
会長会長着きましたよ石神さんも上から来る
Okay. I mean, it's goofy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the fact that she didn't...
どうしたすみませんお気に召さなければ処分いたしますが
But she sees it as his personal investment in the
Right.
area.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of buy that, but like barely.
Yeah, but everything else is
I mean, they're trying to make it funny, which I
Right.
like that.
because you can't take this seriously. The problem is that this is the serious arc with the child trafficking and all that.
They're trying to cover everything, though. Like, right? Because they set concrete and stuff on the island and everything as well.
And this was the
this is
the simplest way to do it.
right, because he had to have done it with them. There's no way that this
Yeah.
would have worked.
しかし今回のは本当に驚いたわ
まさか君たちが飛び入りゲストとはね。
本気だったのか
ああでもある詐欺師に言われただ
Uh-huh.
自分を許してやれって
しかしローランさん枝村さんによく合わせられましたね
オズが刀を突きつけられた時血のりパックが丸見えでさ
危うく中身ごと行くとこだったかな
おかげですっきりしたろ
というわけで収穫は過去最高よ
I mean,
なんだかんだで差し引き
yeah.
Right.
あの3人と仲直りできてよかった
Yeah.
それ
Yeah.
より
Good thing.
メールさ出したか
ああシオンの撮ったムービーも一緒にね
Oh, cool.
君とオズみたいにね
ほっとくだ
Drop this. Finally got closure. Yep. Yeet.
Sleep in the sea.
Yep. We're gonna have a little montage of where they are now.
君に口止めをお願いしたのは良かったのかとかそうそうしばらくは
Okay. Yeah. Finally mentioning that, yeah.
バカ国でね今日は休日にしてソウルで飲むべおいよぼせよ切りやがった野郎ああ別れた女房に
I've heard it before.
そうなんすよ小さい頃は可愛かったのにな
Whoa. Wait.
What?
She kind of looked like Edamura's mom.
No.
いらっしゃいそれ弟なのだいぶ美化してるけどこれください毎度あり
Nevada? Wait, who's in the desert here?
Yeah,
She's going and
Doing her
just
thing.
getting some fun thrills out there. New challenges.
Yep.
Nice. Cool.
枝村君って言ったねこの後はどんなするの
An island cafe.
飲み比べて回ろうかとやっぱり短い方が似合ってる
She sends the picture directly to him.
Yeah.
神のご加護が皆にありますようにありがとう
Whoa. That's the
The dad?
no, that's the pilot guy, right? Yeah, okay. It was a bit abrupt, so
Okay.
it's like a
A ring.
please help.
It's the ring.
茶。
Oh, no way.
最近我觉得我的记忆好像恢复了不少。
Holy shit.
又要说埃塞俄比亚的事儿啊？
我之前那么说过吗？
And so the ring found its way to her.
Yeah. Okay.
这是我刚从鱼肚子里发现的。
That's
And the
fairy
rain
tale.
stops. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
まあまあね。
Okay.
Cute. Cute.
Yeah.
Hey, you know
All
what?
right.
That's an ending.
That's an ending.
That's an ending.
You know, and here's what I will say to its credit.
To its credit, yes.
To its credit. If you're going to make these kinds of decisions,
Yes.
own them.
Own them.
Own them hard.
Yep.
And it really did that.
It did. They made it really zany.
It made it really zany.
goofy.
You know? Like
Really like fly by the seat of the pants. This was
Yeah.
a bullshit, ridiculous plan.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have worked.
And
it made no fucking sense
Well,
that they, got
sure.
all this to actually line up.
And there's
it was improv on the fly, which makes
Yeah.
it make even less sense.
right, to the point where there's that part of me that's like, no, this is actually just because the mind break stuff that happened in this arc was so crazy.
Yeah.
This is just the happy, I'm just going to pretend that that's actually what happened.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Like but okay, there you go.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, like I think they could have yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, that's
right.
that's what we got.
Yeah,
I think my energy in this is basically the same energy of the squad of them laughing in the smoke,
Shooting the
shooting
guns
the
and-
fake guns into the air. Fucking
The real
Siwon
guns,
Kim
remember?
beating her chest like she's Kim, like she's King
Kong.
fucking Kong
While Abby just goes ham with a
with
gun.
a machine gun.
Yeah, just whacking
This
stuff.
show is an arc-based show.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, in a lot of ways, I kind of judge it in the ways I would like One Piece.
Okay.
Up until this arc. In
Yeah.
that all the arcs before this were adventures that Laurent took Edamura on at Edamura's expense, basically.
Right.
He kind of forced him into these situations in order to make
Yep.
Edamura into a person that we were very much seeing the foreshadowing was for some ultimate big job.
Yeah.
Therefore, up until this arc, we saw this entire show as basically one gigantic setup where you would always
Right.
see Edamura get bamboozled by Laurent, and they would repeat this thing, but we would develop the other side characters along the way.
Exactly.
But
all
this
to
arc-
get to this point.
To this point, and this is the problem here, we spent so much of the audience's good faith on this arc being the capitulation of why this show exists.
Right.
In the first half of the arc, they asked something really big of us in that we were going to have Edamura fail effectively, get lost in the darkness of this world so that he would learn something over the course of this and see the situation that his father was put into.
Yeah.
That's a big ask, but the show had bought enough good faith that we were like, okay,
Like, I
there's
don't-
probably a way that you
Well-
can make this work, but I have no idea
Yeah.
how they're going to make it
Or
work.
I don't want the show to be going this direction, but okay, you're going this direction, and I can see that there are things that you're going to be doing with it. Not to do the stuff that we've been doing in the show up until now.
Right.
Not at all.
No.
But okay, you're doing a sudden tonal shift for a dark take on the thing that has been sort of been the driving force behind the scenes for Edamura
Right,
this whole
because
time.
because
his dad. Cool.
because
okay.
because the idea that the dad was someone that was revealed to be the scumbag was the setup for the ultimate twist kind of deal with Laurent. Laurent had a double life, obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a twist. It was more just the idea that you can't trust him. You can't.
Right.
But the ultimate reveal that then the dad was doing this. Oh, the
Yeah.
way in which they tried to sell me on that did not work for me. Then the way that they then had to set this all up where Edamura then did do human trafficking for that course period of time.
Yep.
So
and
that,
by the way, saying the thing of all the kids we rescued, because we don't know, because that part wasn't given any explanation of like, no, we actually set things up so that all the buyers there were fake and we were like, is it that you rescued them after they had been trafficked and already had all that awful shit done to them? Or that, you know,
that's exactly
right?
what it was.
Like, no, it's just everything's magically fine, right? Even with the previous, this is the other part that maybe this is in the grand scheme of things, given all the crazy shit this arc did, you know, it's fairly small, but the fact that the three antagonists from the previous arcs then come in and are like pivotal or helpful here, not only does that unnecessarily add to the convenience and contrivances of this resolution, but there are also questions that I have of how they were able to even help, because
they didn't. They didn't show them doing anything, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but the setup is that they were part of the way in which they were able to get all of these pieces together to make this happen.
Yeah, it's the way they were able to get like the resources and the means and the people and.
But what resources? The only guy that might have had resources left was Ibrahim, because it wasn't made perfectly clear that they cleaned him out of everything, unlike with the other two.
Yep.
But even so, it was set up that he was in a bad financial position and that this would ruin him, right?
Right. So it's they have nothing to give.
They have nothing to give on top of the question of actual, character motivation standpoint. Why would they want to help you? You ruined them, right? And then on top of that then not only is backtracking from the mechanical effect of the fact that you ruined them, but part of the point and the enjoyment of this adventure is that you get to see them scream and shoot the shotgun out the window, you know, as you fly off into the sunset, because these guys are pieces of shit and you took them for all they were worth and more. Apparently, that is now kind of undermined because they didn't really care anyways. It's all fine.
No, it's not only that. It's the idea that, like, oh, we actually kind of just wanted to have a fun, like, remember these guys?
Basically.
That's basically what the payoff was.
Right.
For that. And then I will say the only thing that, like, gave me a lot of positive thoughts about this episode was the idea that Edamura blamed himself for all the things that had happened with not only his mother, but his father, and by extension himself over the course of this whole thing here.
Right.
Now, the best arcs, the Ibrahim one and the painting one, were the ones that focused on the best characters, I would say, of Abby and Cynthia, in terms of the way that they explored their contradictions, their insecurities, their flaws, and then also their strengths.
Right.
Having one of them, in this case, Abby, kind of give him the little bit of the, hey, this is what kind of gave him the pick-me-up to come back into the stage of things with a plan and stuff. But the idea that we have to buy the that was cool, but they then used that as a way to then snowball into the convenience of both parties without communicating, lining up this perfect plan.
Right.
And
or maybe with a shit ton of communication that we just don't get to see or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but
just
and as far as the time and where it was spent in this episode, like, because that idea of that character thing for Edamura, that's the big question, right? Because from that sort of like meta angle of the pattern that the show has established for itself, right? You know, of, okay, eventually this will all sort of resolve itself, you know, regardless of whether or not we buy the resolution or the how, right? Sell me on the why. And I feel like the bit with Edamura of him having that change just kind of, it lasted like 20 seconds. It was just kind of past, like, you know,
or even when they kind of reference back to it at the end, it's the whole thing of, so, yeah, he found a way to have peace about the situation because shit happens.
Right.
And that's that. I get that there's some wisdom in that, but I feel like it's kind of not used to its utmost here. It's used as kind of a cop-out, like, we're just going to kind of sweep that all under the rug here.
Right. In the same way that we're going to just add that last line of, we rescued the kids.
Yeah,
you know, right.
It feels lazy, and apparently there's a whole spin-off thing because we want to have Dorothy be alive because I guess
nothing
fairy
bad
tale
happens
endings.
in this world. And to be fair, that given all of the other stuff that has happened, right?
Yeah,
that I didn't actually have too much of an issue with
because
I have
my suspension of disbelief is already broken.
Exactly, it's completely thrown out the window, and so it's the, hey, we're just going to show the thing of the, theoretical idyllic, nothing bad ever happened,
Right.
It's all
and
good.
they can reunite and have some, miracle of redemption.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
that.
I was thinking for a second that they were even going to say that no, your mom didn't actually die. He took her on a tour around, the world while she was sick or whatever, and they've been reconnecting while, all of this stuff post her death happened or whatever.
They were actually implying that a little bit.
Yeah.
The idea that when we saw it was like an episode or a couple episodes ago, that he would visit his wife. He would wait until Edamura had left.
Right.
And then he would probably tell her about the stories and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's the whole thing of where she was able to have this positive association with him because of those meetings. But then the dad, again,
Still doesn't
did all this, specifically didn't interact with Edamura
Right. because reasons,
I
right?
need
Like
him to be able to eventually understand.
to then do all of these things, no, there's not even a point discussing it.
No.
It completely entirely falls apart in a way that would be spectacular if it were like
If we cared.
if we cared, right?
I think that's the whole thing here, is that there were things that this show built up that I really was invested in. I really was invested in the idea that the dad had some connection to Laurent, and I could see that they were setting things up in that regard, and that there was some kind of extra story behind him being caught in this way here. It felt too stark of a contrast to not have some nuance and complexity to it. And I was excited for Laurent's story to be unveiled here. And in some ways, Laurent's story is untarnished by this ending. His backstory and all that was still a very, very gripping backstory for all intensive purposes. Like, this is more just the resolution of a vengeance story, which they succeeded in their vengeance.
Cool.
They
got a blank check from existence,
Right.
that everything's fine.
Right. But the idea of all the other stuff with the dad, with Edamura here, you lost me.
Right.
You lost me.
This
And
is,
I feel like there are some heist stories where it's okay to have that ridiculous, over the top twist for the sake of, surprising the audience.
but there were
There was so much character stuff that was sacrificed along the way here.
and so many things done before that makes it so that then that's not what I'm looking for, right? Like with regards to the caper stuff, right?
Yeah.
The first arc I actually really enjoyed from that angle, probably more than the others from the standpoint of the actual conning, because
I get that.
we
I like
hadn't
the
got
heist.
the onion peeled back.
Right.
Yet, right?
I like what you're saying there. The twisty heistness of the first arc is more fun than the second and third. I like the second and third because of the character stuff.
Because the character stuff is great, right?
Yeah.
No, you actually have to suddenly become, Breaking Bad Walter White, okay, cool, right?
Right.
But then going out of that, once we get the whole thing like peeled back, it's like, okay, clearly you can't do that again and still have it be that same kind of believable, right?
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So then we get a bunch of character stuff for the next arcs. And it's good stuff. I was emotionally invested, especially with the Cynthia one. That was great. It was poignant. It was evocative, right? And the way that it ended was fantastic.
Yeah, there was
it was
real
melancholic
consequences.
and real consequences.
Yeah.
And then from there we go into this one, which is the one that we should be the most excited about. It should be the awesomest. It should be all that stuff.
It also feels like it should have been 2 arcs. I'm just going to say it. I feel like they tried to string it all together into one job for the sake of kind of the twists of
and
Laurent and stuff, but...
Like, are you talking about from the length, the tone, the plot itself?
Yes.
It's...
all of the above. Yes.
Because the idea of them being like, oh shit, now we're going into the serious stuff, where it's like this is the
Edinburgh, we were
Yakuza
trying
and
to tell you.
We were trying to tell you, but dude, like, no,
you didn't pay attention.
And all those times we were
We're
trying
not
to
good people.
we're not good people.
Yeah.
And the shit that we are going up against, this shit is fucked. They're child traffickers.
Right. That's why I think actually the first half of the arc is not
Kinda
that
works.
bad. It's pretty good, but it's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it like keeps going.
Well, it keeps going, but also they kind of diverted the kind of type of arc into a different one and made it all about death fake outs and convoluted,
Well,
you know,
whatever the stuff was that they did with Edamura, because the thing of him being like the good guy that's going to try and like, hey, I'm going to give away the money that we steal and you know all that stuff. That's really good stuff. You can do a lot of character things with that, especially with the struggle that he has with his dad.
Yeah, and if you
know?
want to break that for the purpose of some really cool kind of getting at the core of who he is, you can also
Sure.
do that too.
You know, deep down, you're no better than the rest of us. All
Sure.
it takes is circumstance.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or
that's
something like that.
There's
right?
there's some fun things to explore there, but I
Yeah.
think the whiplash was too strong. The foreshadowing was not properly done, I would say. I think the laziness of we just had them sleep and all conveniently like not you know question it at all.
They're going into the most like tense situation ever, right? That they're used to, but like these are very suspicious people. They're expecting to be double crossed in this situation, and then suddenly, oh yeah, we just totally fell asleep when we probably weren't feeling tired or whatever, right? Like, you know, of course they start feeling tired when they get drugged, but like, you know, that happens, and then they wake up and are totally fine and lucid and able to do this intense negotiation. They're not like, whoa, something's off, you know.
Yeah.
Even if they don't doubt that, you know, Edamura or Laurent did all this stuff, right? Like, they're. Yeah.
There are too many conveniences stacked on top of each other for me to believe it, even if the show did actually try to say, no, there's a way in which this does work.
Yeah.
And the silliness of it, I think, does actually help.
Yes.
The idea that they went for it being a wacky caper that barely worked is just the slightest bit of help. But it's still just
It almost feels like after the previous episode, they're sort of acknowledging that like we are expecting a blank check from you, audience, because that's what this is going to take, and then we're going to throw all this other stuff in there so that hopefully this is still a very fun time.
Yeah, and
know?
I think that's a good thing to do. I would say that it tonally doesn't fit the arc at all.
Or the rest of the show.
Or the rest. Well, no, I mean, it can fit the rest of the show.
Parts of the rest of the show.
Parts of it. But it's more just that the direction of the show, I feel like this arc needed a little bit more time to cook, if you will. I don't know or understand the adaptation process for this with source material and stuff like that, but I would be interested to see like how this is different or
I
what
think
have
it's
you.
anime original.
It's anime original?
Yeah.
Okay, well that also kind of makes sense as well.
Yeah.
But all right, cool. That's a great Pretender. No, we will not be doing any more extra bonus stuff or anything like that. We'll be picking up a new show after this. And yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the first episode's reaction of the next show after this, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all of this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.